Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good morning, everybody. I hope all of you are in healthy condition and ready to join our class today. Before we start the learning, let's start by Basmalah. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Hopefully we can get the benefits of our learning today, and also Allah will always give us His blessing in all activities. Okay, class, now we are going to continue our discussion about phonetics and phonology. We are in meeting 4 right now, and we are going to discuss about voicing and consonants. In the previous meetings, we have already discussed about vowels. So we have short vowels, long vowels, diphthongs, and triphthongs. What you need to do with that is to know how to produce the sound of the vowel. How you raise your tongue and which part of the tongue that you use to produce the vowel. Dealing with the diphthongs and triphthongs, then you need to point out how the vowel is gliding from one vowel to another. Talking about the voicing and consonant, our discussion will be closely related with the larynx. So the larynx is a part of our body here inside your neck. If you are a boy, you can touch your Adam's apple. Then there is the location of the larynx. Larynx consists of some cartilage, like thyroid cartilage and also cricoid cartilage. And inside your larynx, there in the middle of your larynx, you can find the vocal folds, or some people else call it vocal cords. Okay, there's the part that is vibrating when you produce the sound. Okay, so you have that inside your larynx. Next, talking about glottis. So the word glottis refers to the opening between the vocal folds. So inside your larynx, you have vocal folds, and the opening between the vocal folds is called glottis. If the vocal folds are apart, we say that the glottis is open. If they are pressed, we say that the glottis is closed. Here we will have a clearer image of the glottis we have in our larynx. So this is so-called the glottis, the opening between the vocal folds. You can find it inside your larynx. There are 4 positions here. The first one is wide apart. If the vocal folds here, okay, is open, means the 2 cartilages here, called arytenoid cartilage, are apart. Also, the glottis position can be narrow each other. It is not completely closed, but they are narrowing each other. The third position is touch or nearly touch, or you can also say it vibrating. Okay, so you have vibrating glottis here. And the last one is tightly closed. The glottis can be tightly closed like this. Okay, now we are going to know the relation between respiration and voicing. When air is made to move out of the lungs, we say that there is an egressive pulmonic airstream. Okay, so the process of the air getting out from the lungs, we call it egressive pulmonic airstream. Our lungs are like a sponge that can fill with air, and they are contained within the rib cage. It is inside your chest here. Then if the rib cage is lifted upwards, there is more space in the chest for the lungs, and they expand. So you can try it when you inhale. Okay, you lift your rib cage upward, and then you have more space filled by air here, and it makes your lungs expand. Then after that, the rib cage returns to its rest position when you do exhale. Okay, and then some of the air is expelled and can be used for producing the speech sound. So there's the correlation between respiration and producing the speech sounds or voicing. When you inhale, then when you exhale, or when you expel the air, then you can produce the sound from that. You can try it. You can try it by yourself, yeah. Now, the process when you get the air out, in that process you can produce the sound or the voice. Let's talk about voicing, okay? To make the speech sounds, we must obstruct the airflow in some way. So, untuk menghasilkan bunyi, kita perlu untuk menghambat aliran udara dalam beberapa cara. Okay? If you don't make the obstruct, you don't produce any voice. Okay? Then we need to make obstruction in some ways. We obstruct the airflow by making one or more obstruction or strictures in the vocal tract. Then, when we make the obstruction, it is along our vocal tract. In our first meeting, we have already reviewed about the vocal tract that we have. So we have the pharynx, and then the phallum, palatal, alveolar ridge, teeth, tongue, lips, and our lips as the vocal tract. Okay, and even we can make the structure in the larynx here. We can make the structure, kita bisa menghambat di bagian laring. Then, if the vocal folds vibrate, we will hear the sound that we call voicing or phonation. And then we can make changes in the vocal folds. Okay, we have at least 4 positions of the vocal folds. Here, we will acknowledge the term voice and voiceless sound. Voice sound refers to the sound that make your vocal folds vibrate, or you can feel the vibration. How to do that? You can try to put your finger on your throat here, in your larynx, and when you produce the voice sound, you can feel the vibration here. While the voiceless sound, they don't make the vocal folds vibrate. Okay. And then what sound belongs to voice and voiceless sound? We are going to discuss it in the next meeting for the detail. Okay, so here you know that we have the term voice and voiceless sound. Okay, now we are talking about the manner of articulation. What is so called by the manner of articulation? It is the way the airstream is effective as it flows from the lungs and out the nose and the mouth. So manner of articulation, it refers to how the air get out from your mouth or your nose. Okay, after it is obstructed. Okay. Jadi tadi kalau kita mau menghasilkan bunyi, kita harus menghambat laju udara. Nah, manner of articulation refers to efek yang dihasilkan dari adanya hambatan itu. There are several manner of articulation that we have, namely plosive or stop, fricative, affricate, approximant, slater, and nasal. What is so called by plosive stop? Okay, plosive stop is the condition in which you make a total structure. Okay, that it makes the air cannot escape, so it is compressed behind, and after that you release the airflow and make a plosion. There are several plosive sounds in English. P, b, t, d, k, and g. So you can imagine when you produce p, okay, you make a total stop in your lips, p, and then it makes the air is compressed behind your lips there, and then you release the air with a plosive p. Okay, so that is called by plosive sound. Now how about nasal? Nasal consonants are created when you completely block airflow through your mouth and let the air pass through your nose. So this nasal sound, the airflow is getting out from your lungs, and then they go to vocal tract and ends in your nostril here. Okay, you can prove it if you close your nostril, that you will not be able to produce the nasal sound. Okay, m, n, and ng only can be produced through flowing the air through your nostril, and that is the meaning of nasal sound. Then how about fricatives? Okay, in fricatives, we make a partial blockage of the vocal tract so that the air has to be forced through a narrow channel. So in fricative, you make an incomplete structure. Jadi dihambat tapi tidak sepenuhnya, and it makes the air flows through a narrow channel. These are some fricative sounds in English: f, v, th, s, sh, and h. Okay, okay, you can feel and you can try it. You can produce f. Okay, there you make incomplete obstruction and you make the air flow through a narrow channel between your teeth and your upper lips. F, v. Okay, that is so called fricatives. And then in every case, okay, firstly we stop the sound and then we release it little by little. It is similar with plosive, but in plosive you release the air by making such plosive. But in every case, after you stop the airflow, then you release it little by little. So here you have some example of English affricate sounds. That is j and j, j and j. Okay. Next, approximants. Approximants are when two articulators come close together but not quite close enough to create air turbulence. So here you bring two articulators to come together, yeah. Okay, but not quite close. Let's try to produce this sound. V, 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 y, r. Okay, you bring the two articulators come together, like in, for example, v, v. Okay, v. You bring your teeth and your upper lips, but they are not really close each other. That is called approximants. Next, lateral. Lateral are when we raise our tongues, okay, and the tongue blocks the middle of our mouth, okay, so that the air pass through the sides. Jadi kita mengangkat lidah ke langit-langit, and the air flow through the sides. The example is the sound l. Okay, then now we come to our discussion about place of articulation. We have already discussed about vocal tract, vocal tract, and then now we are focusing on the place of articulation. What does it mean by place of articulation? It refers to where you make the obstructions of the airflow to produce the voice. Here we have several places of articulation. We have glottal, velar, palatal, Post-Alveolar, alveolar, bilabial, labiodental, and dental. Now we are going to get more detailed about the place of articulation. Okay, the first one is bilabial. Okay, bilabial occur when you block or constrict or obstruct the airflow out of the mouth by bringing your lips together. So meet your lips together. For example, p, p, and m. Okay, so you use your lips here to make the obstruction, and it's called bilabial. The second one is labiodental. Labiodental consonants occur when you block airflow by curling your lower lips back, okay, the back part of your lower lips, and raising it to touch your upper row teeth. Okay, so the back part of your lip here, and you made it with your upper teeth. Let's practice to produce the sound of f, 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 v, v. Okay, so there you can feel that you meet your back part of the lips here with your upper teeth. Next we have dental. How about dental then? In dental consonants, you block the airflow by placing your slimy tongues against your upper teeth. Th, th, the, th, the. Okay, the, the. Okay, you can find it, and you may try it. You may try it to feel how you place your slimy tongue, okay, against your upper teeth. Next, alveolar. Okay, this part is called alveolar ridge, and the place of articulation is called alveolar. Okay, you create alveolar consonants when you raise your tongues to the alveolar ridge to block the airflow. For example, n, th, the, s, sh, l. Okay, so you are about to meet your tongue. You raise your tongues to the alveolar position, so you can produce these sounds. Now we have post-alveolar. Post-alveolar is beyond the alveolar ridge. Okay, you can touch it with your tongue, and you can also make the obstruction in this position by raising your tongues to your post-alveolar position, and you can produce several sounds like sh, sh, and then sh, j, and j. Okay, j, j. Then please try it. Please try it. You raise your tongues into the post-alveolar position. Sh, sh, j, j. Next, we have palatal. Palatal is also called as the roof of the mouth. This is the hard part of the mouth, and you can feel it by touching it with your tongue. Okay, you create palatal consonants when you raise the tongues to this point and constrict the airflow. Y, y, y. Okay, like in yes, y. There, you raise your tongues to meet your palatal. The next one is filler. Filler refers to the very back part of the mouth, and we make filler consonants to raise by raising the back part of the tongue here to the phallum. There are several sounds that are produced in the phallum. There is k, k, and w, w. Okay, you raise the back part of the tongues to the filler or to the phallum, and the sounds are called filler. Okay, the last list of articulation that we have is glottal. Glottal is inside your larynx, and it means that you make the obstruction in the glottal, and there are several sounds that you can produce there. Those are in high or Bahamas, and then the glottal sound. Okay, class, then those are our discussion today. Here we recognize several terms that we need to know about producing consonants. The first term is voice and voiceless sound, where it depends on whether the vocal cords are vibrating. And then we talk about place of articulation. It is where we make the obstructions of the airflow. And the last one is about the manner of articulation. It is dealing with how the air flows. Okay, those three terms is really important when we are talking about consonant that will be discussed in the next meetings. Okay, thank you so much for watching these videos. Hopefully we can understand this one. Should you have any question or anything to discuss, please feel free to share it and we can discuss it together. Thank you so much. I'm so sorry for all the mistakes that I made. See you in the next meeting. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.